beautiful Mousehole. They've put all their Christmas lights up, and at night time it just comes alive. The water is lit up, all up on the houses are all just lit up. It's just so beautiful this time of year. I do love this time of year, especially on people's doors when you can see all the wreaths and you just want to kind of look through the windows and see all the little twinkling lights and their Christmas trees. It's just magical. St Ives is far from London when it comes to the Christmas lights, but I still love just the simple decoration and the vibe over here. It's just lovely. Time to stop off and get a naughty cake and a nice cup of coffee and just watch the surf for an hour. It's just bliss. I love watching it. My husband wasn't in this time. He'd already got in the morning, but it was nice just to watch them all. We popped over to the Potager Garden, which is sort of Constantine Way towards Falmouth. It's just nestled in woods, beautiful greenhouse, and it's just, they had a little Christmas market there, which was nice just to have a little mooch around, and we grabbed a coffee.
Quite funny.
There was such an eclectic mix of stalls, from pottery to jewellery, Christmas decorations. So much inspiration, so much to have a little nose and have a look at. It's such a pretty place to go. definitely visit if you ever get the chance. And the gardens always give me so much inspiration.
Oh, have you got a shop? We've got a shop in Falmouth, yeah. We just be selfish. But I like that. I mean, sometimes it's quite difficult to get power to something in the middle of the shop where you need it.
We just moved this, so before the freezers were back to back.
Right.
And it's a lot more cramped in here since we've opened up, open out. I think actually we're going to move it again since it's been quite okay.
Right. One side,
So
isn't it?
it's just like,
Yeah.
split it down, so it's like a new shelves to here.
I'm glad that I'm
No,
not the only
so
one.
here, freezers over there. That's it, and then shelves here. That's what's there.
I'm always rearranging something,
Oh,
trying to improve it, and it costs you time. But if you don't try to improve something, it never gets better.
All those Christmas markets just gave me the kick up the backside that I needed to get back and to get my house all decorated ready for Christmas. So I've made loads and loads of paper chains and also chains out of ribbons, and so I sat there with a hot glue gun. I think I did it in my last video. So I'm using all the paper chains that I had from about 2 years ago and getting those out of the loft. Made some new ones to add to it, and I'm just going to go elf-tastic, really. I'm literally going to make my kitchen look super festive this year. Why not? Go big or go home. So it's a work in progress, getting there slowly. I headed out to my local woods. I love winter days like this where it's just bright blue skies, cold and crisp, and just nice to get out because we've had so much rain. This has been the first really bright, dry day that we've had here for a while. So got my wellies on, got the dogs, got my bucket, and off I went. So I got my bucket of goodies. Dogs are actually crashed right out after that walk, which is really nice. So I can just crack on with my mantle, have a little faff and a play, and just kind of make some sort of masterpiece. Well, that's the plan anyway. So I'm just using wood pins, and I couldn't be bothered to go out and get a hammer from the from the shed. So I'm using some kind of ratchet thing to bang the wood pins in, to my husband's despair. I have got a habit of doing that. I am one of those people that open a tin of paint with a spoon and bend the spoon. But anyway, yes, I'm just wood pinning the mantle just to attach all the twigs and the stuff to it. I don't really have a kind of any, like some people put wire up and all of that. I don't. I just pin it and balance it and kind of hope with maybe a bit of string that it'll all just stay there right until Christmas. I never really have a plan when I just do stuff like this. I kind of just do it by eye, really. Just cut and poke and sort of build it up as I go. It's just, yeah, not really, I wasn't sure, but over time and the more I added to it, the more I started to think, you know what, this is all good. I think sometimes as an overthinker, I tend to overthink things and then tear it all down and start again, when actually just go with it, shall just chill out a little bit and just, yeah, ride the wave. And I was thinking it was quite bare, so I think it needed something. I was going to add some green bay from the garden, but structurally I don't think it would have held. So I'm just going to leave it quite natural and then just add some dahlias that I've dried up from the garden this summer. And I've got an abundance of those. So I'm just going to prod some of those in and have a little faff and kind of see if that looks quite nice. And then I was quite happy with it. It was nice to have little pops of colour, quite organic. So I decided to add some of the dried oranges that I had left over from what I dried before, just to add in there and give it a little bit more of a festive feel. And yeah, I'm quite happy with the outcome. I think it's looking really pretty. Just needed some pretty lights threaded through, and I love these little delicate ones that are on wire because they're not too heavy. And I think, yeah, look at that. It's getting there, slowly but surely. So back in the kitchen to carry on with my decor in there, I've decided to go traditional with red cranberries, red apples and pomegranates. So I've foraged loads of conifer sprigs, which I've literally just put up all on the shelf in there, and then I've threaded the apples with wire, hung the pomegranates with gold ribbon and string, and just had them all hanging down. I think it looks really effective. Threaded the cranberries on with fishing line, and then just used those just to thread through my Christmas tree and up on my garland on my chandelier above my table, just to add a pop of red. Really love the idea of using fruit. I know they used to just use that years and years ago, and I think all those traditional things are really coming back in again, aren't they? And I think it's really nice to do as well. And it was good because I got the children involved, which was really nice. So we, could sit there and just get creative for the afternoon, which was really nice. So we popped along to our local garden centre to collect our Christmas tree. Whilst we were there, we just had a little mooch around. They had a little market going, and they really go to town actually with their decor, which is really nice. So we just had a hot chocolate and had a little walk around, taking in all the festivities, which was really nice. Choosing the tree I always find really difficult, and I have no size concept, which is I do it every year because it's outside. I always feel like it looks a lot smaller, and as soon as you get it indoors you're like, oh no, you've got to lob the top or the bottom off. But we decided on one. This is our one here going in, and she's a beauty. She's quite girthy. I like a bit of girth. It's like decorating, isn't it? When you decorate one room, the whole house gets trashed. So we had to move everything out, take some stuff and put it into the summer house to make room for the Christmas tree. Which I was right, we did have to lob some off. Every time.
Which way when you open it.
So I have to have a little bit off the top.
So I've been foraging yet again, this time from my mum's garden with this lovely grass. I just loved the fluffiness of it all. I don't know, the texture, just quite light. I think it looks quite nice. And also just given me some myrtle and some lovely rose hips, but I didn't go too crazy on the rose hips because I know it's quite important to save some for those birds. So loved this myrtle as well. Such a nice green, very Christmassy. So I'm going to make a homemade wreath with what I've got out of my mum's garden, and then maybe just salvage some nice red ribbon or something. So it's quite late afternoon, so the lighting's quite bad, but you can kind of see where I'm going with it. I quite like just the natural organicness of it. It's not really too done, which I just love. So the kitchen is starting to look like Santa's grotto, just how I envisioned. The paper chains I made, the star garland I made, which my daughter's cut out all the stars for me and I just sewed it through the sewing machine. The big red bow above the cooker is from Anthropology. But everything else we've kind of made and from ribbons and paper. But I love it. It looks super festive. This lovely bow was made by Maria from Sugar and Spice Furnishings in the lovely Cabbages and Roses fabric. Don't know if you remember in one of my videos when I went to the country con, I brought this chandelier thing and I've just dressed it with some berries and put the candles in it. I love it. I think it looks really lovely. Lots of these candlesticks here I've made from clay. I think they look quite effective. Lots of different candles in there. I've just tied some ribbon just to make them look a bit more festive. My Christmas tree I have dressed with dried hydrangeas and dried dahlias from the garden, some foraged and some from the garden, some oranges that I've dried myself, and then I've just hung some of my vintage baubles with them, lots of fairy lights and an angel tree topper this year. I finally finished my mistletoe garland that I was working on. I also made these from clay and threaded through some pearls. Took a little while to kind of get the structure right with a little help from my husband to try and do a bit of wire locking just to give it a bit of sturdiness. But I think it's worked out quite well.